welcome everyone. We are very excited to have you today. I know agents are very busy, so we're happy you spend a couple of minutes with us. So in today's webinar, we are going to be talking about who Bond Exchange is as a company, and then we'll dive in to the available tools that we have, and we'll also show you how to best utilize them to become a Surety Pro. So couple of quick introductions here. My name is Taylor Conley. I work on the business development side at Bond Exchange. So that could be conferences, agency enrollment, inviting you to these webinars. So again, if you got an email from me, thank you. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. And then we also have with us Benton. Benton, can you introduce yourself and then your new role here at Bond Exchange?
Thank you, Taylor. And yes, I am fully on the business development team now. I do have underwriting experience though, so I'm able to help new agents get started on their policies and underwrite those on their behalf. And I'm excited to show you a little bit more about the platform today.
Yeah, we're very excited to have him and his underwriting expertise as well. Really helpful for us. So let's dive into who Bond Exchange is. Okay, just keeping you on your toes this morning. So as you can see, Bond Exchange has been around for quite a while. We are licensed in all 50 states, which means our agents can also write bonds in all 50 states. As you can see, we are appointed with quite a few carriers, and we do have some carriers who focus on the harder to write business. So we do like to say that we write everything. But really what we want to focus on and what we want you to understand is that our goal here at Bond Exchange is to create the very best platform and then offer the best level of service so that agents who maybe aren't necessarily focused on surety bonds can still get in the system, still get their bonds written efficiently and profitably, and then get back to the other areas of business you are focused on. And maybe you will also find that you love surety bonds and that will become more of a staple of your business as well. We would not be mad about that, but let's dive into how we do that. So Bond Exchange is wholesale only. We work exclusively with PNC agents, so that's it. You just need your property and casualty license and you can start selling surety bonds. We do pay 20% commission for all standard bonds, which would be the majority of business that you are writing. And then we pay 10% for those non-standard bonds. We do allow agents to add broker fees if they would like, and we'll kind of dive into that later, how to do that. So one of the other areas that we are extremely focused on here at Bond Exchange is our technology. So we are a surety bond platform. We have created a full online process for doing these bonds, getting them written. We also have a full backend for that. So I'm really excited about that. Our bonds, do have a database of over 10,000 already in the system. Very easy keyword search to find them. Again, I am not an underwriter and I can very easily use this system. So I believe in all of you agents. And we will kind of go over that in a little bit here. But I think my favorite thing about Bond Exchange, and I think the thing that truly sets us apart, would be our people. Now I'm just using this as a way to embarrass Benton, but there he is again. So we will send us out to conferences. And then if we are not at a conference, you can reach us. You can chat with us on the website. You can call or you can email us. Either way, you will be connected to an actual underwriter who has the authority and knowledge to answer your questions and get your bonds written. And they are 7 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And they are wonderful. So please do not hesitate to give them a call. Okay, so that's Bond Exchange. Let's take a look at our tools. This is going to be probably one of the more important ones, and this would be Easy App. So this is the application where you can pre-qualify, quote, and issue bonds. This is going to include your SBA, your probate, your contract bonds, all of the above. So I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to hand the reins over to Benton, and he is going to walk us through what that would look like in real life.
Thank you, Taylor. And this is the welcome dashboard. This is where you'll show up as soon as you log into the platform. You'll see here that any alerts from Bond Exchange, any notices that we want our agents to see will be available right here in the Alert Center. We just recently got the ability to direct deposit commissions. So that's an opt-in capability that our agents can use if they are interested. We use our payment provider Veeam. They're one of the few providers we were able to find that could deal with the volume of transactions that we have. So, if you're interested, you can easily opt in. We have that link here for you. And it's just as simple as putting in some basic information about your agency so that we can send the money to the correct place. Anyways, if you don't opt into that, we still will mail a check. That'll be about halfway through the month after a policy is issued. Anyways, let's get a little bit deeper into these features here. All right, and down here you'll see quotes and upcoming renewals. This agency doesn't have any upcoming renewals at the moment. It is our test agency, but you will have that information displayed here in the welcome dashboard for your convenience. And you can jump to your policy history or edit your profile from here, but we're going to dive right into a new quote. And today we will be doing a North Carolina motor vehicle dealer bond. It's a pretty simple license and permit requirement. It just requires credit, and we can do it all right here on the platform. So first question, is it needed in North Carolina? So it's going to ask that based on what state you reside in or most commonly write bonds in. In this case, that would be North Carolina for us. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes, because we are quoting a North Carolina motor vehicle dealer bond, and we know what the name of the bond needed is. But if you're not really sure, you can click this button here, and that'll help you narrow down the search a little bit so you're not sifting through a ton of different bond requirements trying to find what you need. That'll just help narrow it down. But we're going to go ahead and click yes so we can show you the keyword search. And here you can just type in a word associated with the bond, in this case, motor vehicle dealer bond. We're going to type the word motor, and there it is right there at the top here. But if you're not entirely sure what the bond is called, but you know who's requiring it, you can also type in the entity that requires it. So in this case, the Division of Motor Vehicles, and it comes up again right here at the top. So we're going to go ahead and select that to continue here. And every step of this process is meant to be like you're having a conversation with an underwriter. We wanted it to be as seamless as possible, step by step, very conversational feel. And it's just going to confirm what bond that this is the bond you're looking for. Yep, $50,000 motor vehicle dealer bond. We're going to click yes and continue. But if you click no, it'll bring you back to the search feature so you can get what you need. And then at the beginning of once you select the bond, at the beginning of every Easy app, you have the capability to send this application to your customer to complete online. They can complete the remaining portion of the application, provide payment, sign for it, and get a digital copy of it, as well as their invoice immediately after they purchase it. And that all can be done directly on the platform. So this would send an email to your customer. You just have to type in their first, last name, and email address, and then this application will be sent to them to complete online. In this case, we're going to say no so we can demonstrate the step or process to you, but you are always welcome if you ever run into a roadblock to click this icon in the top right corner, and that will allow you to send it to your customer at that stage of the application where you left off. If you don't know their social security number, you can email it to them at that stage and they can complete the remaining steps for you. All right, so today we're quoting a bond for Joe's car lot. The principal we're using is named Joe, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in here, and you want to type the entity type there, but in the very next screen, it's going to ask you what the entity type is. So we're going to go ahead and select LLC here. Typically, that's required to be on the bond form, so we ask it in this next step. And then, as I indicated earlier, this is based primarily on, the rate is based primarily on credit. It's the initial threshold for getting an approval and a rate. However, if they've been in business for a number of years, that can have a reductive effect on the quote. So you definitely want to take that into account. We're going to say he's been in business for 3 years in this case. And then you'll just type your customer's phone number, right? And email. And then we have a Google autofill feature here. So once you start typing the address, you'll be able to automatically populate the remaining fields here. You will have to manually add suite or apartment if that is relevant. But as you can see, if I start typing, we have a list of nearby addresses that autofill allow you to complete it that way. And then if they have a separate mailing address, in this case, hopefully they're not living at their car lot. You can enter a different address here so that they can have their policy documents or any relevant information or renewal invoice mailed to the correct place. We're going to say yes to keep it simple, but just know you can always add a separate mailing address. And then we just need some information about the owner. This is not a real individual. This is a fake Experian credit report that we use for these tests. Joe does have good credit, but we are not about to reveal his social security number to you. The reason we ask for this, it's typically needed to be able to run a soft credit check. Sometimes it's possible without, but we typically do need it to be able to get an accurate credit report of the individual, which of course is used to calculate the rate for this bond. All right, that is not his real social, as I said, so we're going to continue here. And then at this stage, it's asking for his home address. That's because that is also needed as an item for Experian to fund a credit report. In this case, it won't matter because it's a fake individual, but typically you will have to put a separate home address in here so that we're able to run the credit report. We're going to say it's the same to keep it simple, but as I said, you probably will have to enter their home address at this stage. And then if there's another owner, you have the ability to add them here. It'll just go through the same 3 steps that we just went through. We're going to say no, Joe owns this outright on his own. And then at this stage, you're able to select when you want the bond to actually become effective. That can be any day, 30 days prior to today's date or after today's date. We're going to keep it as today to keep it simple, but just know you have the freedom and flexibility to pick a different day. Perhaps you don't trust the mail and think it's going to take a little bit. You can make it effective a little bit later so they're not paying for a portion of the term they're not using. And then we'll just continue here. It's running a credit check, calculating what rate Joe is going to get. Like I said, Joe has good credit, so we're hoping for a good rate. And there we go. We have multiple different options here for payment. And one we want to showcase is our monthly payment option. We are the only broker in the industry who has the capability to offer monthly payment options, pay as you go. So $38 due today, $38 every month for the duration of the bond term, pay as you go. Joe doesn't need it anymore. He can just stop paying. It's fine. No money's owed either way, just $38 a month throughout the bond term. And our customers really do like that feature. So we're actually going to issue this one on subscription here in a moment. But you also can do 2 or 3 years, and that will provide a discount for the 2nd and 3rd year if that is of interest to the client. And then it's just indicating what your commission is going to be. Most bonds are going to pay 20% commission. It's pretty much everything that you can quote on the platform is going to pay that. But if it does be a non-standard submission, like I said earlier, commission gets a bit lower. We don't get paid as much for non-standard applicants, unfortunately. So that does get reduced a bit, but you're also welcome to add a broker fee. That can be any amount you want. Just to tap on to that total amount the customer receives when they go to purchase this online, or when you send them that invoice, it'll all be included in there, and that will be paid to you in full on top of the 20% commission that you're going to receive. We're going to say no to keep it simple, but you can always add a broker fee on any policy. And then at this stage, again, we're giving you the ability to send just the quote to your customer, so they won't have to do any portion of that application. It's just a matter of signing and paying for the bond and opting for where they want it to be sent. That'll be done all on the system. It's very simple and straightforward. We're going to say no so we can show you what it looks like for the agent. But at this stage, it would send them an email with a quote. They can purchase it online, sign for it, and be good to go. And you'll be notified every step of the way. Once they purchase it, you'll get a confirmation email as well. So we're going to say no here just to continue. And if you're doing it as an agent without sending them the quote to do online, you're going to have to get a signature for the indemnity agreement. That's just agreeing to the terms of the bond. So you'll just print and download that here, and then you'll have it available for you. We're going to upload a blank one, but just be mindful that we do review to make sure these are signed.
We will
but
check.
We're going to upload it. Yeah, that's correct. But we're going to one just so we can continue through here. And that will be that first download I just had. Okay. And it's just going to get that uploaded. And then we also offer overnight shipping. So if the client is in a rush, you certainly can opt for this. It will be FedEx overnight to anywhere in the country for $30 a flat rate. And that will come with tracking information. We'll send you a copy of that label, and it should be received the next day by the client, so long as it's purchased before 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. But we're going to go with standard here. Simple. And then you can have the bond mailed to either your agency address, your customer's address, or a separate delivery address distinct from the ones you've entered previously. We're going to send it to the customer. And then we're going to go with a monthly subscription option. We're really proud to be able to offer this, so we want to showcase it here as well. So only $38 will be due today. And you're welcome to issue this on agency or direct bill. For subscriptions, you really should probably stick to direct bill, but just know you always have the ability for renewals or new bonds to be able to issue them on agency bill. But we're going to go with the customer's payment, and Joe has a credit card. This is not a real credit card, just happened to work on our system, so don't try to use it. It doesn't look very
That
legitimate.
one, hopefully, yeah, should be fairly obvious.
All right. So Joe's making that payment of $38. We're creating the policy documents, the invoice, sending out that confirmation email, getting everything squared away on our end, alerting our team that the new policy has been online and that we just have to review it, make sure that bond form looks good and is ready to be mailed out. We'll print that, seal it, and have it sent to the customer in this case, since we opted to have it sent to the customer. And you'll get an email confirmation as well as the customer. And right after the screen, you'll see here momentarily that the customer or after purchasing the bond will have the ability to download the policy, the payment receipt, and you can leave your feedback with us as well. I'm not going to inflate our review, so I'll close that out, but you can download your invoice and return to your dashboard. So we're going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll show you just a couple more things before I hand the reins back to Taylor. So you can jump to your policy history with this button, or jump to your profile page here where you can add to your bio or fill that out a little further. You can also jump to here and go to My Agency. That'll bring you to the command center where you can really manage your policies or make payments and do all the various functions of our system. So this is just a summary of your agency's information, and then any agents attached, any policies you've recently quoted, or really all your policies will be held under here. But any renewals that are coming up will be filtered separately here, so you can isolate those and really make sure the agency's on top of those. Any bonds that you submitted that had to go to underwriter review will go here. And then if you have any payment methods for your agency you wanted to add to be able to make payments for agency billed policies, you can add them here. And those balances will be listed in the billing and payment tab, as well as balances due to your agency from commission. Quick note here, for subscription bonds, we pay them quarterly. It would be a bit silly to send a small payment every single month. So every quarter, we're sending the sum of those commissions for every month leading up to that to your agency. And then any notifications. And you can also download a commission statement here that will include everything from the prior month, or all the months are listed separately there, so you can download those as needed. And we don't have any commission on this agency at the moment. But one more thing I wanted to hop in is our Get SuretyPro widget. The way to really access this is to go to your user page, and then you can pull that link here. Taylor's going to go into a bit more detail. Actually, this is our staging website. We're about to totally revamp this, and it's going to be a lot better even. But this is brand new to me even. So I won't go into too much detail on this right now. We're going to have an announcement about it. But currently on our site, it actually doesn't look like this. You'll just be able to copy the embedded text and add that to your website. But we are totally revamping this and improving it. So that is to come. And Taylor will show you how it currently looks here in just a second. I'll go ahead and hand the reins back to Taylor, and she can give you a little bit more insight on SuretyPro and some of the other cool features we have.
Absolutely. I'm going to just take over. Okay, perfect. Okay, so SuretyPro, we love. So we're going to show you what that actually looks like. So SuretyPro is the ability to take an online widget. Here's a couple of the examples here on the screen, and actually put this on your website so that that Easy App application we just did and ran through, all of your principals would be able to start on your website and complete and purchase their bonds. So It is an absolute game changer. We do right now have 4 versions available. You'll see 2 on this screen here. And then we also have a customizable version, and there are a couple of differences. So I wanted to walk you through that. So I'm going to show you some actual agency websites that have SuretyPro installed. So let's take a look at those. So this right here would be one of our agents. We just go to their bond page. Okay. And you can see they have one of these widgets installed. So if you use one of the 4 that we have, this is going to be an embedded version of SuretyPro. So this does a couple of things. It utilizes your amazing websites that I'm sure you have spent tons of time and money on perfecting. So it keeps them on that website. It also keeps them in the buying mode. So if you have a bond page that has, request information, and we'll get back to you to work on that bond, your customer could be doing that with you and several other agents, and then it's just a matter of who gets back to them fastest to purchase that bond. So this really captures that business immediately. And as you can see, when it says click to get a quote now, truly, that whole application is just immediately in here, and it'll walk you through all of those steps. So that is one of the options for SuretyPro. Now, if you don't like one of the 4 little buttons that we have, again, Benton gave you a sneak preview. We are going to have some customizable things for that. But for now, we do have a different version where you can take some coding and use it so that it matches your website. So you can see this agent has some very clear colors that they're using. They have a get quote button under every version. So she was able to take a shareable link, so different code that we are able to offer, and just attach that to this button. Now, as you can see, this isn't going to be embedded. This will open up another URL. However, we will make sure that it has your logo. It's very clear who that customer is purchasing their bond from. And again, this will just take you through the same exact steps that you should be very familiar with now. And then once they're done, they can just close out. And then again, they're still on your website. So those are some of the options for SuretyPro. We're happy to work with you to figure out what version works best. And we can just send that code over either to you, or if you have a web developer or a team that you work with, we can get that done. It usually takes anywhere from 5 minutes. So we're happy to work with you on that one. And then I just wanted to hop back in here really quickly and talk about one more tool. This is probably just because it's my personal favorite tool here, so I always like to end with that. And that is going to be Book Builder. So Book Builder is essentially our find an agent tool. So we have about 20,000 unique site visitors to our website a month. We put out a ton of educational content for our agents so that we can help you be truly surety pros. So we have tons of blogs that we put out about every different bond type. We have a very robust YouTube page, and then we put on these fabulous webinars. So it's one of the reasons why we do get a ton of traffic to our site. A lot of times that ends up being retail customers looking to purchase bonds. So because we are a wholesale agency, we would like to pair those principals with agents. And so we have come up with this tool in order to do that. So let's take a sneak peek at that. Again, it's just going on our website, find an agent, and then you would just type in the zip code near you. So let's take a peek. I want to show you what a good profile will look like. This is one of the agent's websites we looked at. So the logo might look familiar. This is what we really are looking for here. When Benton was showing you the ability to edit your profile, that agency bio, that's what is appearing on this page, really just gives the customer a little bit of insight into who you are. Maybe they want to work with you for some other types of insurance. Surety bonds are a great cross-selling opportunity. But we also want you to put your logo on there. You can see it'll appear in that center. And then we have all of your contact information. So again, this is just giving the principal an opportunity to find an agent near them. And then this should look pretty familiar to you. There you go again. So they purchased the bond on our website, and then the agent would receive notification that they have a new client and new commission coming their way. You can see why this is my favorite tool. So, all right. I think we gave you tons of bond information, guys. So let's go to my favorite portion. Okay. There we go. We are going to dive out into any questions that we have from you guys. Right, any bond questions specifically. Again, we're happy to answer any questions about our tools, also any bond specific questions, because I do have my underwriter expertise on the call as well. And then also we're happy to answer questions about marketing bonds or anything to that effect. So I'll give you a few minutes and see how we can help. Okay, I muted myself and then I couldn't unmute, but here we go. All right, so we do have a question. Marketing. Okay, so do we offer marketing materials for agents? We do actually. So as I mentioned, we do have a very active blog, so you can search for it on our blog. We actually have a whole article about marketing materials. We will co-brand some of that for you, so can check it out. And I'm happy to email it to anybody who wants that as well, but it'll just give examples of different flyers and things that we can do, and our marketing team will work with you to let people know. Another thing I recommend is we have a brochure that I'm happy to send to anybody who would like to request one, and you can chat with me here. That'll just talk about not only our tools, but it also talks about the 5 most common bonds in your areas. So for a lot of new agents, that is a question we get often. What are the most common bonds that you're seeing? You know, I'm new to it, so I want to know who to advertise to or what information to be putting on my website. So our brochure does go into every single state, what the most common bond types are. Highly recommend that. Can send that out to anybody who is requesting that. Okay. Not too many questions today, guys. Benton, do you have any hot bond tips?
Always feel free to reach out to us and see what bonds are popular in your state. As Taylor indicated, that brochure we have is going to give you a little summary there, but you know, we're happy to give you some insight. You can call us anytime if you don't really know what we're going to need for an application. If you want to submit it online, it's going to ask for the same general things we always need, and yeah, and we're always available, so you can call us anytime, chat us. We have a chat feature. It's a real person, so we're always happy to help. And it does look like we have a question here about the SuretyPro link. Yeah, we can certainly guide you through that. If you want to connect with Taylor or myself, you can send an email to outreach@bondexchange.com, or you can give us a call at any time. We can have one of our underwriters transfer you over to us. We do have direct lines, but I'm not familiar with Taylor's number, but you can call me at 855-994-0391.
Benton, how do you not know my number by heart by now? What's going on?
Sorry.
Call myself. But yes, so we do have a couple of people asking for links and brochures. I do see that in the chat. So when we are off this, I will send those over to both of you because I have all your contact information. So I will get that over to you in just a little bit. Another thing I would recommend checking out when you have time is Bond Exchange's YouTube page. So this is not a shameless plug for our past webinars, but all of our past webinars are on there. So for example, we did do one recently on contract bonds. So if contract surety is something you either have done and have questions about or are looking to break into, that is a fantastic webinar to check out. We will be doing one soon on probate bonds, so keep an eye out for that invite. And then again, anything that you have questions about, we've posted a ton of information just about how to utilize our tools. Again, marketing expertise from a couple of different companies that we've worked with. We've had webinars with them as well. So please feel free to check out any of that. But otherwise, we will send out this recording soon so you can keep it in your back pocket and know how to walk through an application. And then otherwise, we will talk to you guys on the next webinar. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.